Hello everyone. My name is Naomi. Welcome to this channel. It's the Easy QS channel. In this channel, it's where we simplify quantity surveying concepts to become so simple for our students, so that even as they revise for their exams, they can be ready and also passing the exams very well. We also help those students who are already done with their studies. When they're in the industry, you need a refresh. You come back here and we remind you about everything you learned in class. So in this channel, we answer questions from students, those that are doing exams. Anything that you find it's troubling you, you just ask us a question and we do a video for you. We explain it clearly and we wish you the best and you pass your exams. So we are so happy for your feedback, all those compliments that you've given us. We are so happy, even for the complaints, the comments that you've given us, the feedback about how we should improve our videos. We are working on it. So I'm so happy to be doing this video. It's a video that has been asked for so many times. It's a video on retaining wall. Actually, I'm doing it at night. I have been having a very busy day, but because students have been asking for this video so many times, and I can see that NEC exams are around the corner, I saw it best just to tackle this question. So it's a question that is very common, taking of retaining walls, and I want to take you through so that you can be able to understand. So if you're new to this channel, kindly subscribe. That is the support we are requesting from you, and from us you will be able to get quality content, and we shall help you to revise for exams, so just for free. Yes, so we invite you to bring your classmates, bring your friends, those who are in the construction industry, and in this channel we are going to assist you understand more about estimation and costing of building and civil engineering work. So feel welcome and let's get started for today's video. So in our next question, or in an exam question, you'll be given a diagram which has a plan and a section. So for the retaining wall, the plan is like this one. You can see the wall. Where is the normal wall, it's 300. Here on top, this is the 300. Then we have the piers. Piers, they extend by another 300. The piers are usually behind the wall. After every, you can see piers are at 5 meters center. So after every 5 meters, we have a pier. So the retaining wall usually have a foundation made of concrete. The foundation is rectangular and it runs through the total length of the retaining wall. For example, in this case, you have been told, prepare taking off sheet for mass concrete wall with 30 meters length as shown in figure below. So you're told that this length is 30 meters, but the section is like this. It has a rectangular foundation made of concrete. Then we have the retaining wall, which is like a trapezium. Yes. Then we have a pier behind it. The piers are in centers of 5 meters. So after every 5 meters, we have a pier. A pier, they are stones. Yes, piers, mostly you can find piers made of stones. Stones that have been arranged like this, on top like this, like this, like this, or they can be made of concrete. The piers, they are like columns, which help to reinforce the retaining wall so that it can be able to withhold the pressure. You know, retaining walls are usually mostly used to withhold pressure from the soil. So here it's the neighboring soil and it is separating it from a low level. So you can see the level here and the level here. So the retaining wall is usually built so that it can be able to hold the soil in place, so that it doesn't collapse. The retaining wall usually also has a 100 millimeters whip hole at 1 meter centers. The whip hole, it's a hole. It's like a pipe. A pipe is inserted through the wall so that it can be able to drain the water here in the soil out here on the ground level. So that to avoid a lot of pressure which can lead to collapsing of the wall. Alright, then where there's this pipe, for the whip hole, we usually have continuous pockets of ashes between the piers. Alright, so that the ashes can be used to filter the water through, or you may just find another reason why. That is one of the reasons. Alright, so this is the section. It measures 2400, the foundation. It is 2400 wide. The thickness of the foundation is 900. These measurements, you'll need them when you're taking off. This is the ground level, meaning that we shall excavate to get the foundation. The depth from the concrete to the top of the pier is 4,000. For the total wall, yes, it's 4,000. Then in the foundation, we told concrete, it's made of concrete. Ratio 1:21, stroke 2:5. Alright, so for the foundation plan, we can see the 1200 here. It is from the 1200, it's from here to the end. 2400, it's the total. This one 2400 is from here to here. 2400 is from here to here. So in the plan, you can see where the dotted line and the dotted line are. This is the 2400. 1200, it's this one, the thickness of the wall on the maximum. So it's from here to here. So the wall starts from here to here. Then here we have the 300, this one. Then the pier is here. Alright, so and the width of the pier is 750, as you can see. So this is the plan view of the retaining wall. This is the section through the wall. Alright, when you are taking off the retaining wall, there are three main items that we shall look at. First of all, we shall do the mass concrete in the foundation and the mass concrete of the wall. Yes, there shall be mass concrete here in the foundation and the mass concrete of the wall. Then we shall place concrete in the foundation and place concrete in the wall. We shall do the placing of concrete here and in the wall. Alright, then we shall do the auxiliaries work, which comprises of the formwork. We shall take off the formwork. Of course, this wall being made of concrete, we shall need formwork to hold it in place before it dries. So we shall need formwork for the to do the finishes. As we do the concreting, it will provide rough and fair finish. Then we shall do inserts such as this drain. We shall take it off, and ashes. So those inserts, we shall insert them. So we shall do the 4 steps. Alright, let's start with the concrete work. We shall start with the mass concrete, and it is to the foundation. So this concrete, yes, it is 1:2.5. Alright, it's you read it as 1:2.5:5. Concrete grade 7, 20 millimeters aggregate for foundation. This concrete, when you are measuring it, we shall take the total length of the retaining wall, which is 30 meters. Then the width of the retaining wall, all of it, the width of the concrete here below, it's 2400, 2.4. Then the thickness, which is 0.9, this one. So once you multiply, you get 64.80. After that, now we shall do the concrete to the wall and concrete to the piers. Alright, so we shall start with the walls. The walls, the concrete shall be 1:2:4, just as we had been told. Mass concrete in wall, ratio 1:2:4. 20 millimeters aggregate for wall. Then the total length of the wall is 30 meters. Where do we get this 30? It's from our question here. We had been told that the wall is 30 meters. Then the width of the wall. The width of the wall is 750. Where do we get this 750 from? 750, we shall take the average from the narrow edge and the wide edge. So down here, the wall measures 1200. Up here, the walls measures 300. So we get a total of 1.5 meters. Then the average shall be 0.75. So to get the concrete of the wall, we shall take 30 meters for the length, 0.75 for the width, because it's the average for the width. Then the depth, the height of the wall is 4 meters. From the concrete at the foundation to the top of the wall is 4 meters. So once you square, you get 90. Then we shall go to average width of the wall. Okay, we shall go to concrete in piers. So this one we shall say it's ditto to piers, in piers. So what is the concrete in piers? The concrete in piers, we shall first count how many piers do we have. We are told that the piers are 85 meters centers, and the total length is 30 meters. So it shall be 30 meters, we divide by 5 spacing, then plus 1, we get 7. So there are 7 piers. Then the width of the pier. The width of the pier, you can see here from the plan, it's 750, 0.75. Yes, the length of the pier is 0.75. The width here, it's 300, 0.3. Then the height of the pier is like the height of the wall, it's 4 meters. So once you square, you get 6.30. So that is concrete in piers. So we just write here ditto in piers. Okay. The next step in retaining wall, it's placing of concrete. We have already done the mass concrete. Now we shall do the placing of concrete. Alright, so in placing of concrete, this one involves the concrete that is in the walls and in the foundation. In the SMM, the civil engineering SMM, which guides us in taking off retaining wall, it says that when we are doing placing of concrete is that process of putting it in place. We are concreting it, doing the formwork and placing the concrete so that it can dry. We do the reinforcement, then we do the concreting. So the placing of concrete should be done in intervals. For the wall, for the concrete, it should be done in intervals of, if there's concrete below 500 millimeters thickness, should be done separately. Then if there's another concrete above 500 millimeters, it should be done separately. So that is what we shall be doing here. So in the placing of the concrete, we shall begin with placing the concrete in the foundation. Remember, mass concrete was calculating everything that involves the concrete itself. But when we are talking about placing of concrete, it involves that process of doing the reinforcement and doing the concreting. Okay, so in the placing of concrete, we begin with this concrete in the foundation. We want, one thing you have to note is that we do taking off in preparation for the bill of quantities. How will we cost the concrete if we haven't taken it off? So the next step after doing taking off the concrete is taking off the placing of concrete, so that we can be able to know how many materials we need for the placing process, and also how much labor we need in the placing process, and also overheads and profits, of course. But now let's go back to placing of concrete. In what is the concrete that shall be placed in the foundation? Remember, the length of this wall is 30 meters. So it shall be 30 meters of wall. Then the thickness of this foundation is 2400. So it's 2.4. Then the width is 2.4. The thickness is 0.9. So once you square, you get 64.8. That one is mass concrete in foundation. The thickness is exceeding 500 mm. Okay, you can see that this one is 900. Now for the wall, for the concrete, for the foundation, we just do the one which is exceeding 500 mm. We shall just state that it exceeds 500 mm. But for the wall here, it's where we have to show the difference. Okay, so if you look at this sketch that I've done here, what we do is that we separate, we draw a line here to separate that concrete, which will be between 300 mm and 500 mm thickness. Then we shall take off the one that is between 500 mm and 1200 mm separately. Alright, so the one that is thickness between 300 mm and 500 mm, it is, you see this one is 0.3. 0.3 meters is 300 mm. Then here it's 200 mm. So this one is giving us an average, a total of 500 mm. So this concrete that is between 300 mm and 500 mm, we shall take it off separately together with its pier. So we shall take off this height, which is making 500 mm separately. Then we shall take off the other height, making 500 and 1200 mm separately. So the one which is making 300 mm and 500 mm, I remember the length of the wall is 30 meters. The thickness, the width of the wall, okay, we shall find it here. Here it's 0.3, here down it's 0.5. So we shall find the average so that we can know the width of this wall, this part of wall. So 0.3 plus 0.5, we shall get 0.8. Once we divide by 2, we shall get 0.4. So the width is 0.4. Then the height of this part, which is making 300 mm and 500 mm, is 0.89. So it is this one, 0.89. So once we square, it shall be 30 meters times 0.4 times 0.89, we get 10.68. Alright, then we go to the piers. Piers, we shall take off this height. How many piers do we have? Remember, we calculated the number of piers by taking the total length of the wall, which is 30 meters, and we had been told that the piers, where piers are at 5 meters center. So it took 30 divided by 5 plus 1, and we got 7. 7 we multiply by, so the length of one pier, this is the length of one pier here, it's 750, 0.75. The width of one pier, remember the width of one pier was here, 300. Then the thickness, the height of one pier, the height shall be also 0.8, because the pier, remember, it's somewhere here. If we were to sketch it near the wall, it's up to there. So we have taken the pier off up to 0.89. We square get 1.4. So the total for the thickness between 300 mm and 500 mm and piers is this plus this, we get 12.08. Then we go to the next thickness, which is exceeding 500 mm. Remember, it's only for the wall that you do the thickness separately. The thickness between up to 500 mm, then the one exceeding 500 mm. So mass concrete for wall thickness exceeding 500 mm and piers. So it's this part now. What will it be for the wall? For the wall, the length is still 30 meters. The 30 meters, the thickness of the wall, we shall take, here it's 0.5, here it's 1.2. 0.5 plus 1.2 is 1.7. We divide by 2 to get the average, we get 0.85. So 0.85 is the thickness of the wall. Then the height shall be 4 meters minus 0.89. We shall get 3.11. Alright, so the total shall be, when we square this one times this one times this one, we shall get 79.31. Now we want to take off the pier near that part of the wall. Alright, so the pier, the length is 0.75, the width is 0.3. Then the height, we shall take 4 minus 0.89, which shall be still 3.11. So once we square this, we shall get 4.90. So the total shall be 84.21. So that one shall be mass concrete for wall thickness exceeding 500 mm and piers. Alright, now we shall move on to the next step, which is to concrete and auxiliaries. After the placing of concrete, we shall do the concrete auxiliaries. These ones are things that we need as we work with concrete. For example, we shall need the formwork, and we shall also need the inserts. For example, to put the concrete in place, we need the formwork, because we shall first do the formwork, then we concrete. So as the concrete dries, it needs the formwork. So first of all, let's calculate the formwork that we shall need for both the fair finish and the rough finish. You realize that in a retaining wall, where we shall need a fair finish is on this part. This part is the part that we shall be seeing as we pass by the wall. If this is the retaining wall and it's holding the soil behind there, so that maybe that's behind there, the soil is on a higher level than where we are. The part that we shall be seeing is this part. Alright, this part is the foundation, it's below the ground. So we shall be passing through here. Because remember, this part is on a higher ground. So here we need a fair finish. Then on these other parts, we shall do a rough finish, because it shall be neighboring the soil. Alright, so we shall calculate the area of formwork for the fair finish. To get the area of this part, we need the hypotenuse, then we multiply by the length of the wall. Alright, so what is the hypotenuse here? If we need the hypotenuse here, we shall need the height here. We need the height here, the vertical height. Then once we get this vertical height and the distance from here to here, alright, so first of all, what is the distance from here to here? It's 1200 minus 300. We shall get 900. Then the height from here to here is this 4000. So we shall get 4 meters and 900 millimeters. We get a hypotenuse of 4.1. Because it's 4 squared plus 0.9 squared, square root, we get 4.1. So the area for the formwork for the fair finish shall be 30 meters length of wall. We multiply by 4.1, we get 123. Alright? Then we shall go to formwork to rough finish. The formwork to rough finish, we shall do first. We shall start with the wall. Okay, let's start with the wall. Alright, so we shall calculate to get the length of the wall. We shall take the total length 30 meters. Then we shall deduct the area of piers. You see, this was the length of the wall. Then there are piers that are seen coming out of the wall. You know, we don't need to support formwork the wall which is behind the pier, because we shall first do the piers, then we shall do the wall. So the piers shall support the concrete that shall be done on the wall. Alright, so behind every pier, we don't need to calculate the formwork for the wall. So, and you remember, these piers are in intervals. So, whenever we have a pier, we shall deduct that length, because we need the length for the wall alone. This is to calculate the length of the formwork that shall be needed on the length side. So we shall calculate how many piers do we have? We have 7 piers. What is the length of these piers that will replace the formwork? Because the piers will be in existence as we do the concreting. So it shall be 7 times 0.75. We shall get 5.25. So the total length is 30 meters. Then we shall deduct 5.25. 5.25 is the total length of piers that shall replace the formwork to hold the wall. Alright, that deduct 5.25, get 24.75. So the length of the wall shall be 24.75. Then the height of the piers that shall be replacing the wall is 4 meters, just like this one. So 4 meters. Sorry, this is the height of the wall. The height of the wall is 4 meters. This is the length of the wall. Alright, so this one shall be 24.75. Then the height shall be 4.4 meters. This one is formwork for the walls. Alright, now let's go to the formwork for the piers, the one that shall be holding the piers, because first of all we shall do concreting in the piers. So first we shall do formwork for the piers. So what area of formwork shall be required for the piers? We have 7 piers. The length of each pier is 0.75 meters and the height of one pier is 4 meters. So the total area for the pier on the length side, which is here, shall be 21. What about the sides? When you are looking at the piers this way, the section, this one is the side of the pier and the other side we have another side. So what is the formwork for that one? This one is 0.3 and the height is 4. 0.3 and 4. There are 7 piers and there are 2 sides. Alright, so 7 piers, 2 sides, 0.3 times 4. We get 16.80. This one is formwork to the sides of piers. Alright, now we are done with formwork. Yes, we are done with formwork. So, we shall now need to do the inserts. The inserts we shall need, first of all, you can see this drain pipe, whip hole. So we shall need to take it off. It's 100 clear wire land drain feet in a rake. In on rake. So how many drain pipes will we need? We are told here that the pipes, it's 100 millimeters whip holes at 1 meter centers. At 1 meters centers of 1.8 meters. So the centers of these holes, it's 1.8 meters. The total length of the wall is 30 meters. How many holes, whip holes, do we need? It's 30 divided by 1.8. So we shall get 16.7. So we shall need 17 units of drain pipes. So 17 drain pipes, and in every drain pipe we need only one. So it is 17. In the description, that's where we write 100 millimeters. You can just write 100 millimeters whip holes. Drain pipes. Clayware, okay. The clayware is the material. 100 millimeters clayware, land drain fixed on the rake. Okay. We have 17 of them each. So it's a total of 17. Then we shall do the ashes in continuous pockets. It's here. It's 600 times 450 continuous pockets of ashes between piers. So between every pier, we have the ashes. So what is the total length of the ashes? It's just like we took 30 meters, we deduct the length of the piers so that we can remain now between the piers. So we shall write ashes in continuous pockets behind the walls, only the walls. So 24.75. The width is 0.6. For the ashes, it's 600, 0.6, and for 50, 0.45. So the total volume of the ashes is 6.68. And there, reaching there, we are done with the taking off of retaining wall. I hope it's a bit clear. That is the first example we have done. We shall continue to do more neck examples on taking off retaining walls. If you have any question about the retaining wall, kindly ask it in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel. We really need that support so that we can continue to do content for you. So we really appreciate your feedback. We have seen the questions you're asking. You have asked even about the septic tank. We shall do, the next video shall be about the septic tank. For the module 3 students, we shall do all the videos on unit rates. So keep tuned. After subscribing, just click on the notification bell so that whenever you upload a video, you can be notified so that you can be able to revise for your exams in the easiest way possible. So